And now, I am delighted to present the 2021 Barry Fisk National Youth Advocate of the Year Award, which recognizes one outstanding youth advocate who demonstrates leadership, commitment, creativity, and courage. This year's recipient is Milton Nguyen of Elk Grove, California, who has been a leader in campaigns to ban flavored tobacco products and so much more. Here's a short video highlighting his impressive work.
Hi, I'm Milton Nguyen and I'm from Elk Grove, California. I think looking at the tobacco use of my grandfather and looking at that cigarette addiction that he suffered with so long, I think that's something that was really impactful for me. And I think that's something that really keeps my drive going in terms of continuing my tobacco advocacy. I think really activating youth in the fight against tobacco has been something that I've really been proud of. I've been able to reach out to peers and essentially create and take part in some of these community events like Youth Quest 2021. Part of Youth Quest was that we were able to give each attendee the opportunity to meet virtually with a state legislator or the staff member of a state legislator to essentially practice their own advocacy skills and to practice educating on tobacco control issues. I think there's a preconceived notion that the youth voice is somehow limited, especially if you're under 18, that not being able to vote is the same as not being able to have an impact on your community or having an impact on government and politics. But with my tobacco control advocacy and with advocating with legislators and policymakers on different levels of government, it's really shown me that even as a youth, your youth voice has so much power, it has so much impact, and it's so meaningful. And the youth voice truly can create change. And oftentimes policymakers are really receptive to the youth voice and they really truly want to help create positive change, especially for youth.
Now, let me turn it over to Milton and Jamira to dig deeper into his work.
Milton, congratulations on this honor.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and excited to be here tonight.
How does it feel to be recognized as a Barry Fisk National Youth Advocate of the Year?
I think being recognized as the Barry Fisk National Youth Advocate of the Year is a really humbling experience for me. And I want to take some time, of course, to honor the legacy of Barry Fisk and all the work she's done for the campaign for tobacco-free kids and also for tobacco control and the public health community at large. But I think it's a really humbling experience and it's really an indication of hope in the tobacco control movement to hopefully one day create the first tobacco-free generation.
You've mentioned you got involved in tobacco control because of your grandfather. How did that experience with tobacco use motivate you to fight for change?
I think a lot of my motivation with my grandfather really came from the conversations that I've had with him in the past. I know growing up, a lot of my conversations really revolved around tobacco with him and just asking about his experiences with tobacco. And what I was able to gather from that really was that it was a lot of environmental and social factors that really pushed him into tobacco addiction, into nicotine addiction. So it was something seen as cool and something seen as trying to fit in. So I think really realizing that fact and how big tobacco is able to use that to addict individuals, that's something that really motivated me to go into tobacco control.
What would you say is your proudest accomplishment in your advocacy work?
I think my most proudest personal accomplishment really would be helping my grandfather quit smoking cigarettes. But I think on a more general sense, it's really all the interactions that I've been able to have with community members and with my classmates in my own advocacy. And really just hearing all the personal anecdotes, whether it be a classmate telling me that they quit vaping because of my advocacy work, or hearing a community member learn a tiny bit more about the dangers of tobacco and how they can help take on the toughest fights against big tobacco.
As you know, tonight we are celebrating some incredible young people making change happen. You mentioned that the power of youth voice. What is unique about the youth voice and why is it so powerful?
So first and foremost, youth are the future. And I think with an issue like tobacco use and tobacco control, it's really important for youth to be an integral part of that discussion, given that youth are so impacted by big tobacco and so impacted by the issue of tobacco use. And I think the youth voice really embodies hope and optimism. And I think youth are very creative and very innovative. And I think really that the youth voice is something that society as a whole can benefit from. And I encourage any youth out there and aspiring advocates to really use your voice to advocate on issues that you may be interested and concerned about.
That's so great to hear, Milton. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and congratulations again on this honor. I have no doubt we'll see you continue to do great things in the future.
Thank you so much. I've had a blast here, and I'm so happy to be honored this year as part of the awards.